Here in this video, we talk about how really anti-Christian and how satanic the entire right wing is. Starting with the Republican Party, who is the complete antithesis of Jesus Christ. So they were against working programs that benefited the poor. I believe Jesus Christ would favor that. They wanted to repeal the minimum wage. Jesus Christ, I'm sure, would want a fair living wage for everybody out there. They want to gut all environment regulations and destroy the environment. I believe Jesus wanted to preserve all living life on planet Earth. Go out and repeal all financial regulations and repeal usury laws. All part of the Republican Party platform. What you see right here is the Republican Party changed the logo from having 3 American star flags, flipping them and rotating the stars to have inverted pentagrams. What these pentagrams represent is, in fact, the inverted goat head of the Church of Satan. They became the beast literally before they made the decision in 2001 with the help of big oil to kill 3,000 Americans in the name of hating Muslims for the sake of big oil war propaganda. To me, it's no coincidence that this coincides with 9/11 and big oil fighting a complete phony war with a fake inside job so-called terrorist attack actually funded by these big oil people. This is how Bush and the Republican Party became completely satanic. In fact, it all goes far back to the Southern strategy when the Republican Party wanted to lock in the racist vote in the South. Barry Goldwater was against the Civil Rights Act so we can campaign and get those states. The South started to become Democrat in 1968. Reagan Democrats were the racist Southerners. They became conservative, and then 1995 they were all part of the Republican Party. And the Republican Party uses the hatred of immigrants and Muslims and Mexicans while keeping poor, working, white Christian people poor and full of hate. And this is what the Church of Satan completely represents. This is what the devil is completely represented. To hell with working people. We're going to make you all serfs. No benefit, no public housing, no discrimination laws. It's every man for himself. The poor get poorer. There's a market without rules. The billionaires are free to exploit. The next satanic symbol, not actually... this is represented completely different than the original Gadsden flag, which was created during colonial times. Parts of the snake represented all the various parts of the colonies. New England joined together as a head, South Carolina as a tail, following their order along the coast. Under the snake was the message, join or die. This was a symbol for the American Revolution, but very little ever since this logo was represented by the racist and completely brainwashed American Tea Party following the election of America's first black president, did this become a satanic symbol. The Libertarian snake completely represents sociopathy, because that is what Satan believes. Don't tread on me. Don't violate my so-called rights because I want more and more and more. Don't collect taxes and want the betterment of all of my people. Very completely against the teachings of Jesus Christ. I just want to keep everything wrapped up together for me. Screw everybody else. The Libertarian serpent snake represents the greed of Satan. This represents the devil, the snake, who tempted Adam and Eve to eat the apple. That is what the Libertarian Serpent of Satan represents. And very clear, as I've talked to you before, as I've been exposing Donald Trump's presidency, as I've been completely right about the disastrous Republican Party for running over 3.5 years right now, you'd know that there's a beast in government that claims that That's right in front of you. It's corporations lobbying the government. Well, the opposite of that, the hidden beast out of plain sight, the mark of the beast, is these so-called small government freedom fighters telling you that we need to cut the government and we need to give all the power and the money to the billionaires. This is what it's all about. The evil serpent of libertarianism is really this anti-government mark of the beast that we're referring to. They're the ones trying to take away your Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, all of that. Subsidized housing for the poor, all these things that make this a prosperous society for the collective, for the general welfare of all the people. Libertarianism is completely the antithesis of a civilization. A civilization would want individualism, with wanting to look out for the collective whole of the entire country. This is what makes America unique. This is what made America great throughout the New Deal 1930s all the way up to the late 1970s, when we saw greed and sociopathy and extreme rugged selfishness hit American society ever since Ronald Reagan. Is it a coincidence that right-wing ideology of the billionaires equals the number of the beast? You know what else equals 207? It's the corporate economics of the supply-side right-wingers that have made everything worse in our society. And they say, oh, the jobs are gone. Well, oh, the economic growth is slow because, oh, big, bad, big government. Hello? Jobs are gone. It's not this government regulation that's the problem. When Donald Trump cut taxes to the billionaires, we're over $1 trillion in debt long before the coronavirus hit America. The number of the beast in the Libertarian Party, because the Libertarian Party only serves the billionaires. To hell with the minimum wage. We want to privatize, put profits over people for our medical system. We want to make education a matter of who has money and who doesn't. Make people poor and make people poor knowledge-wise too. No public schools, the Libertarians. You see what this extreme corporate propaganda agenda is all about? It's making everybody wage slaves and making the masses poor intellectually. This is the heart of right-wing propaganda, keeping you in check through fear. Fear of things and people that are different than you. Corporate, Illuminati, Republicans all equal 48. This is their favorite party, is the Republican Party. They need a corporate Democratic Party ever since these same satanic conservatives made money speech in the Supreme Court, and then they corrupted the Democratic Party. Illuminati, Republicans, Christians that make up the Republican Party. Christians full of hate and worrying about bullshit over their own economic interest. That's what the New Deal was. This is what the racist South went against ever since the Nixon, Barry Goldwater Southern strategy completely flipped the racists over to the Republican Party. How come they all voted against Obama? You know what else is the same gematria as these Christians and these Republicans? Islamophobia, fear of Muslims, hatred of Muslims, Mexicophobia, hatred of Mexicans. They say all these nasty things about Mexicans. Like, oh, they're poor and they live off the welfare system. All a bunch of bigotry. Just, disgusting. Disgusting right-wing sociopathic ideology. Is it any coincidence that it is Supply Sider, it is Inverted Star that has Gematria 56, it's Libertarians that has Gematria 56, it's a Serpent of Satan representing Adam and Eve, saying go bite the apple, when, don't tread on me, you say that to God. I mean, that is so libertarian snake, get rid of all the environment regulation. It's all about more greed and more greed and more money and more money and more money for David Koch and the rest of these guys. Understand that. Many people in the Libertarian Party were closet racists after the campaign of Donald Trump. Their Libertarian Party had all these racists. All these racists hiding behind the Serpent of Satan. Oh, states' rights, states' rights. States' rights is code for racism. We wanted the federal government to end desegregation. Oh, it's states' rights. It's states' rights. It's code word for their racism. It couldn't be out in the open. And one of Ronald Reagan's advisors made this known in one of his speeches. So do not follow for these sycophants, the Serpent of Satan, the Libertarian Party. The Libertarian Party doesn't even intend to have great political power. They just want to spread their far-right, fascist economic propaganda onto the Republican Party. That is the only goal of the fraudulent so-called third-party Libertarian Party for the people, more like a party for the billionaires, so they can advance their own ideology on the Republican Party. And you see that everything the Republican Party represents by the satanic inverted star means that they are all represented by greed and wealth and power over the people, and it's a really deep symbol of hatred, of racism and bigotry towards groups who are not white wasp males. This is a very satanic symbol. They very much believe in this, in the John Birch paleo-conservative, make America white and capitalist and completely laissez-faire. This is what the John Birch Society is. So Ron Paul and Rand Paul are part of this satanic cult of the Republican Party that just want to destroy the environment for the almighty dollar, go to war, kill its own citizens, 9/11, propagandize people to hate and commit violence against Muslims and against Mexicans. Even though the Mexicans are here in the South, in the Southwest of United States, Mexico, Arizona used to be part of Mexico. California did. Many of these areas are part of Mexico. We took that land. Fact is that America is a land of all people, of immigrants, and not just white people. I mean, this is why the Republican Party is dying off really quickly. This is why the Libertarians are going to infiltrate the Republican Party. We're going to see these ideas in real life in the Republican Party. The Libertarian ideology is going to take control of the Republican Party. It's completely individualistic and sociopathic. No New Deal programs that benefit working people. No spending of infrastructure education to make the people more educated and more prosperous. Just completely a complete worship of Satan. It really is. Is it any coincidence that it is Satan that has the same gematria of Libertarian, or that Libertarian Party has gematria of 10? I mean, be my guess. I'd like to see how else the gematria of devil relates to it, but this is all the proof I need. The inverted star, the Church of Satan, and then the Serpent of Satan, represented by the Libertarian Party. And this is why you get all these repealed, get rid of health care, get rid of Obamacare, get rid of Medicare, health care for the poor, get rid of Medicare, which is health care for the elderly, get rid of that. No Medicaid, no health care for the poor. I mean, no living wages. I mean, it's just completely sick. It's complete satanic devil worship for a cult of millionaires and billionaires who just want complete power.